right, we're recording.
We are recording. Good evening, y'all. Here it is, the 6th day of the 6th month. Auspiciously, in one regard, I guess, was a anniversary of the most incredible and unprecedented, probably never to be repeated again.
We don't have people who would do that anymore.
Military operation that truly turned the tide of the Second World War and led to the, repulsion of Nazism and so on. But Ascension, in one regard, the Heaven's Door Ascension that we're hoping to enjoy here.
That's so cute.
It's cute. Was what was selected by the random number rater generator. And I thought, well, Ascension, there's some appropriateness to that for, the young men who landed on Normandy and didn't last 5 minutes. I can't imagine it. I think the movie Saving Private Ryan does a incredible job of what I believe the experience was like. And there's been other movies that have done that. But regardless. Heaven's Door.
It's certified kosher.
I bet Bob Dylan is...
I bet he was behind that.
Behind that,
yeah. Anyway, I didn't know that.
Because Bob Dylan is... quite frankly, I don't know to what extent he is fully involved with this, but every one of his whiskeys that come out of the Heaven's Door distillery in Pleasureville, Kentucky, so far have been wonderful. And I do believe he has more than just adding his celebrity.
He does all the artwork.
He does the artwork, but I think he also kind of works with the distillers.
Here's a picture of him in his shop doing his welding on the metal bits that become the door.
So anyway, I got this directly from Heaven's Door, along with 3 others that were coming out as a special. So while I'm getting it open...
Okay, but now...
here's some words that may not be in there.
All right.
It's signed to Bob Dylan. I wanted to create a collection of American whiskeys that, in their own way, tell a story. This unique blend of 2 Kentucky straight bourbons is non-chill filtered and blended in batches of 10 barrels or less. And that's all the propaganda there is here. Distilled in Kentucky, bottled by Heaven's Door Spirits, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, he does all the iron and metal work for his gates that then become the label, the artwork. Okay, Heaven's Door introduces its inaugural Kentucky Straight Bourbon. This is the Ascension, a remarkable blend that showcases the expertise of our distillery, with one of the bourbons sourced directly from our own production. So they said we're excited to add our own Kentucky Straight Bourbon to our permanent collection. So I guess that means they're distilling and...
Yeah.
Is this an MP?
No.
Okay, so it's...
This is one of a very small number of whiskeys that I've popped open, and just the nose off the bottle has been really nice. This is one of them. Great color.
Well, this one's not helpful. This Bourbon Inspector, the page won't move. There it is.
Oh.
It's 92 proof. It's a pretty color. Age 6 years. Undisclosed mash bill. Okay, it's established in... This is about the company.
Okay.
Established in 2015, Heaven's Door Spirits is the result of an exclusive partnership between famed musician Bob Dylan and the Spirits Investment Partnership, SIP.
Huh.
They don't say anything more about what...
Spirits
Investment Partnership.
Oh, that's clever. That's clever.
I love the artwork.
I do too. And some of them, it's not just this decal that's on the label here. Some of them, it's like embossed the way this is embossed on the side.
This particular website, it's there. Let me see what else I can find. Just words.
Caramelized pears.
Okay, the term bootleg whiskey was trademarked by Bob Dylan, although he did not initially intend to create a whiskey brand. However, these 2 dudes, Mark and Ryan, 2 whiskey experts who had previously worked with Angel's Envy and Diageo, respectively, saw an opportunity and invited Dylan to join them in their whiskey venture. Although Dylan initially scoffed, he eventually changed his mind in 2018 and became a co-creator. The name was inspired by his hit Knockin' on Heaven's Door, which,
makes sense. Yeah,
in 2017, work began on its 6 Mile Creek distillery in Pleasureville, Kentucky, and in 2018, it was still equipped with a custom-made Vendome, whatever that is.
I think it's a type of still.
Okay, production has been carefully overseen by Heaven's Door master distiller Ken Pierce and a master blender. Until now, Heaven's Door has been sourcing whiskeys from around the country. Ascension is the first release from Heaven's Door to include distillate from its own still. It is a blend of 2 bourbons, with the second coming from an undisclosed Kentucky distillery. Ascension will be a permanent part of its core expressions, including Refuge, a straight rye whiskey, Revival, a Tennessee straight
Got
bourbon,
both of those.
and Revelation, a double
Got all
barrel
3 of
whiskey. Okay.
And I got a couple of cask strengths from them too.
Okay. This is from Whiskey Fellow. Ascension's mash bill is broken down between 2 distilleries. Its house mash is 76% corn,
Wow.
15% rye, and 9% malted barley, while the sourced component is 70% corn, 25% rye, and 5% malted barley. It is at least 6 years old, non-chill filtered, and blended in 10 or fewer barrels, as you had read.
Okay, just on the nose before you get to anything else, and see when you find the review that has it. I got a little bit of like eucalyptus tree, not necessarily oil or anything like that.
Okay.
But my first thought was, and I keep coming back to it, is it's like a cinnamon brandied candied pear.
Oh, okay. Well, Whiskey Fellow, I want to take a sniff just because
Okay.
it's Bob Dylan. Not that I think he smells good, but I like his artwork.
Right.
And I wasn't a huge fan of his solo early work when I was younger, but I've come to appreciate it now. And I liked Traveling Wilburys so much.
And he was I didn't know this, he was a prolific songwriter.
Yes, he was.
A lot of his songs ended up being produced by, or performed by a wide range of performers.
Okay. And this website is ooey. I'm going to close it. So,
We commissioned the pavilion today.
Heaven's Door says on the nose, aromas of caramel, vanilla, and oak. So that's everything. They say that about everything.
Pretty much.
With hints of charred wood and toasted grains. Heaven's Door. Is this another Heaven's Door? Why do I have 2 Heaven's? Let me take a sniff. Whiskey Fellow says honey, oak, corn, nutmeg, and brown sugar.
Candies beat the honey. Brown sugar and the cinnamon.
It's just too bourbony.
What kind of bourbon is it? Bourbony bourbon.
Bourbony bourbon.
All right.
And then Bourbon Inspector says cinnamon and rye spice. This is the web page is giving me fits. Over a backdrop of oak, leather, caramel, licorice, and baked bread.
Licorice. No,
Almost like a
bread.
semi-dry raisin bread. But if it was black licorice, that might be what you're smelling in eucalyptus.
Good point. Yeah. Oh, first taste was lovely.
Okay, good. It
Second
says right here, lovely. No, it doesn't. So what do you get from that?
Considering what you shared, what you found and shared about the mash bill, I'm surprised it doesn't have a sweeter taste.
Me too.
It's got
I'm surprised to hear you say that. I'm not going to taste it.
It's got some nice rye influenced pepperiness to it.
Well, one of them was 25% rye and one was 15% rye. So
I know, but still, the other one was like 70 something.
78% or something like that. Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot.
Okay, good. Do you only have 1 bottle?
Yes.
That's probably all you're going to have, because
if
they made 10 barrels or fewer, then...
each year.
Oh, okay.
Not
I mean, are they hard to find? These are hard to find.
Well, I got it straight from Heaven's Door itself.
Oh, okay.
But I have 2 ryes and 5 more of their bourbons to get into.
The one I wish we'd gotten was the one that, when I think Bonnie was here, we ran into Richard and Sandra at the Centerville Exchange, Coast Guard Exchange, and he had picked up 2 bottles of the Heaven's Door that was a blend of bourbon and included the Redbreast Irish whiskey. And I said, and then he brought it over here for a tasting, and I liked it. Or maybe it was rye and Redbreast, but it was Heaven's Door.
Yeah.
And I could never find it again. So maybe you can find it at Heaven's Door. Anyway.
It's a buttery, wonderful mouthfeel on it. The flavor, the taste, it's not overwhelming anywhere in my mouth. I give it a chew, and I do get a little bit of the a tingly aftertaste at the back of the throat that just is what leads to the warmth coming down the chest. This is a fine whiskey. This is a really good whiskey. I believe this was priced at around $60. Around $60. And I think it's worth it. It's a buy for sure. So far, every single, and I have more to try than I have actually tried already of the Heaven's Door products, but every one of them has been really nice. And I think that pays tribute to, in some regard, the celebrity that is Bob Dylan. You may not have liked much of his music early days, but his influence in music has been
as I aged,
incredible.
I appreciate his music, and then as I got older, I didn't like the Beatles when I was young, but I like them now. I do too. Even at 92 proof, you might expect to find some of the alcohol and singeing some hair somewhere, your nose, down your windpipe. Doesn't do it. It's very, very smooth, very nice. This is one that you could at $60. You're probably going to want to enjoy it more neat or on the rocks rather than making a cocktail of it. But I think it'd make it a fantastic Manhattan. So, do you want any tasting notes, or just want to go with what you have?
Ooh. No, I'd like to compare what I was tasting.
Heaven's Door says it's smooth and lasting finish of caramel, cinnamon, nutmeg.
Yeah, smooth and lasting. Yes.
This whiskey fellow says Ascension's texture was creamy and slid easily around the inside of my mouth. It's very close to what you said. The initial flavors included nutmeg, cinnamon, and brown sugar, while the middle featured vanilla, honey, and graham crackers.
I agree with the graham crackers, but that's just brown sugar and honey going into graham crackers. It's a nice transition.
The back offered charred oak, clove, and candied ginger.
See, now they're starting to get into how many things can we characterize this as.
So he's a bottle bar or bust rating. He says earns his bottle rating, which is buy it.
It's my buy. Yeah.
Ascension drank at about its stated 92%, making it something that would appeal to enthusiasts and newbies alike.
He said 92%.
It's 92 proof.
Yeah.
But he has a 92 degrees, so it's 92. Its mouthfeel was attractive. It had plenty of flavor to keep your attention, and that finish was lovely. Ascension has much to offer for its $54.99, and you can often acquire it for a little less.
54. Okay, it's $55, $60. Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what. As much as I like the Heaven Hill products, the Buffalo Trace suite of products, if I were to be limited to one distiller, this would certainly be in the running. Heaven's Door and all of their whiskeys would certainly be in the running for that.
So I went and looked to see if I could find their Redbreast marriage. I found Exploration Series 1 Calvados finish.
Oh my goodness. We have another whiskey that had a Calvados in it. Bacta.
Okay. So this is deeply rooted in French influence with carefully incorporated elements of product, wood, and technique. Its foundation is Tennessee straight bourbon, finished inside freshly dumped Calvados brandy casks. That's an apple brandy from Normandy, if anybody doesn't know. So, OMG. I bet that would be good. Too bad I
Just
probably
remind
wouldn't
me.
like it.
Remind me. I'll look for it. I tell you what, though. If you have someone that, if you have this in your collection, and someone were to come to your house and say, "Hey, do you have a special whiskey that's not, crazy pricey like Old Fitzgerald or, Pappy or Elmer or anything else," says, "Pour them some of this. This is really good." I got nothing else to say about the whiskey.
Okay.
You got anything that has not already been covered?
No.
The dog's been fed. We're going to go make our dinner. We call it Texas 9, but it's really...
You call it Texas 9.
I call it Texas 9.
This is something you brought with you, which is delicious.
But it's almost like a taco bowl. You do your meat, generally ground beef, but sometimes you can do, fajita steak or chicken or whatever.
Heck you want.
But then the number is however many things you have, including whatever your seasoned protein is, and rice, and then peppers, onions, salsa, cheese, sour cream, avocado, all these kinds of stuff. Whatever the number is, it just becomes a big pile in a bowl, and you enjoy the crap out of it. I'm telling you. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. No merch. If you're not already honoring the people who gave their lives and did what they had to do on D-Day, stop and give it some thought. I know there's been a lot of things on Facebook today, particularly among my veteran friends, but it is worth remembering the sacrifices that were made. And I think the average age was like 19 years old, 18, 19 years old, and just enjoy living here where you can pretty much do whatever the heck you want, say whatever you want, feel the way you want, all the wants, you just do the way you want. Anyway, cheers. Thank you, their executive producer and your stalwart research team and camera crew and sound guy and
thank goodness we didn't get the hound sound guy.
We need to get the clapper.
No,
Simply the Simpsons episode, whatever.
Okay.
Take one.
Take that for action.
The dog. Oh yeah, she's looking at me like, "Are we done yet?" We're done.
Apparently we're not.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.